Ladies and gentlemen, y'all give me 1 second here. Let's see. Let me see here. Okay, got us some new episodes of the show, so I'm gonna make some more reviews for y'all here. Let me get over here and get this set up. Gotta get the live set up real quick. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Alrighty. Got that right down. Let's see, get these here. Alrighty. Y'all forgive me, I was in there on my YouTube studio, getting my live set up. Had to get it to members only. So y'all forgive me now. If you ain't no member of the Blessed Tribe, you'll see it say join up under there. One of the best things you gonna do these here where you could be in the chat. If you're not a member, you're able to still submit questions through the super chat feature that they have. I believe they have that on there. But just wanted to get on here, and I'm gonna be before I have to coach every day. If I'm in the office, when I'm at work, I'm off on Mondays and Fridays sometimes, but I work sometimes. But when I'm at work, then I'll be popping on here and discussing the things at hand, pop culture topics, not pop culture, but current events, and then also answering y'all questions, the Blessed Tribe Q&A. So Blessed Tribe, y'all still gonna get y'all value even if you're not in the all access membership on TonyGaskinsAcademy.com. But we going to be doing bonus Q&As because the all access membership is really access to all of the courses on the academy, but I do some Q&As as a bonus, so y'all stay tuned for that as well. Next one we probably won't have until next week because I got a session tonight at 8 o'clock, then I got a football game tomorrow night, and then something going on Saturday. Probably be with my wife Saturday, and then something Sunday, event Sunday. So might get to do a bonus Q&A for the all access membership next week. A lot going on, and I want y'all to understand when you go to my description box and you look at all them links and you see all the stuff I got going on, I want you to let that be a sign to you that this is the sign of the times, and you got to get busy. You cannot get complacent in what we got going on. I was watching the news and they were showing where Trump had a talk, and he said that the National Guard needs to use the dangerous cities in America as training. Now, what is the National Guard, Bree, God bless you? What is the National Guard training for? They training for war. They training to defend and protect. And they did not sign up to be police officers. But Trump deployed them, I think, to LA and to DC. And he's saying to use those dangerous cities as training against the enemy within. So he is labeling the street thugs, the criminals inside of the city, which every city gonna have. He's labeling them as the enemy within. And so here you have the country turning their weapons on itself. And that right there, if that ain't a sign of the times, especially when you got fully funded police forces right there. And it's like the same way the police forces cannot stop that crime, the National Guard won't be able to stop the crime either. Because the people who doing the crime, they doing that at somebody's house. They doing that in the hood. They doing that in the wee hours of the night, or they doing it in a certain place. And so now, he literally, I'm listening to the video, I'm listening to the news, and heard him say that. And I'm like, wow. So he sending these National Guards in there to these cities and saying, use these cities as training before you have to do what you really signed up to do. And think about that. Hey, thank you so much for that right there. Yeah, y'all, I'm in my songwriting bag now. So I got them 2 songs, A Man's Love and Storied Love, on iTunes. So y'all go get your iPhone, or it should be on Spotify too, if you ain't got no iPhone. Yeah, and that's the thing. And that's the same thing with these guards. It's like, if somebody want to do some crime, especially if somebody is deranged, you setting these guys up for somebody to come and do something to them when they out there and shouldn't be out there. And so that's where we at right now in the world. So y'all have to, and this is what a lot of folks, voted for. And the brother is going through, so you're gonna have to pray for him. We instructed to pray for him, because to turn your guards against your own country when people is doing street crime, that is, street crime is street crime. Like, it's gonna take care of itself. It's like you go to the streets, Jordan, God bless you, welcome. You go to the streets, that's what's gonna happen. Like, you gonna lose your life or you going to prison. What the National Guard gonna do about that? But waste millions and millions of dollars that could be directed somewhere else. And so this right here is what we living through. This right here is very intentional out here. So you got to be careful. You got to be prayed up. And you got to be ready, especially if you live in one of them cities, Chicago, LA, DC, them different places. I think they're going to end up going to Memphis and different places like that. And so you're going to have to have your gear, be ready, have your mind right. And it's getting bad when there are Republicans turning against Trump. When it's getting bad, then when you got staunch Republicans, like a Candace Owens, who is speaking out against Trump and saying this ain't the Trump she voted for, and saying that Trump is trying to buy TikTok for Israel. And she say Israel owns social media, like they run social media. And she showed the video of the guy Netanyahu basically saying that they got to take over social media. They got to get their message out on TikTok and get their message out across the web through the influencers, so that they can have their narrative right about what they're trying to do. And that's very, very interesting that another country cares so much to have a certain narrative painted about them across social media. and just to be putting people against each other. And then I got people emailing through my site, like the little spam emails, talking about the Israel versus Gaza situation. And I'm like, wow, they sending in emails. Like, what in the world? They sending in emails, trying to send in links and everything. You know, I ain't clicking on nobody links. And it's really one of those situations. And everything is affecting everything. So I sent out an email this morning, and I did a Substack this morning. Woke up about 5. I said, instead of me sleeping on in at 9, let me go on, get on up. So got on up, sent out if you are a student on Tony Gaskins Academy, you got an email there. And if you're on my Substack, I posted on the community page. That's where I'm gonna be posting my motivational newsletters on Substack. Just posting stuff for us to think about and to be locked in on and start setting those goals. If y'all put a question in the chat, put the hashtag Q in front of it so I see it a little easier. And that's exactly what happened right there. Cutting the funding from education, government programs to do this right here with this National Guard stuff. And I saw that. And I saw today that they was talking about the Democrats. Now y'all got to realize I'm Jesus Christ crap. I'm not a Republican. I'm Jesus Christian. I vote for Christ. I don't do Democrat and Republic. But they were saying that y'all Democrats is what they trying to do is they're not trying to get free health care for illegal immigrants because that's illegal, and an illegal immigrant can't even get health care. So that would make no sense for them to be trying to do that. They say what they are trying to do is make sure that health care doesn't skyrocket hundreds and hundreds of dollars for average American families, and that some of the things that's been put in place as far as the parameters on the cost of health care can stay in place. And the Republicans are not trying to do that. Y'all forgive me. And that's what they going back and forth for, the stuff they trying to hold on to. Y'all forgive me 1 second here. Basketball coach reaching out, responding. I didn't even realize I had hit send on the text. So they going back and forth on that. And when you listen to it unobjectively, because I'm not Democrat or Republican, so not unobjectively, but objectively, when you listen to it and you not on either side, and you listening to what's going on, that right there give you a better picture. When you're not trying to pick and choose a side, and the stuff that's right is right, the stuff that's wrong is wrong, that right there give you a better picture. And I've been listening to the stuff, and they were saying that, of course, they can't meet today. They meet again tomorrow, and it could be done, or it could go days more, or it could go weeks more. And basically, a lot of people working for free right now in these couple of days, and then other people, up to 750,000 other people furloughed. And so, if that ain't making you pray a little more, I don't know what's gonna do it. Just reconnected, got us a Blessed Tribe member right here. Just reconnected with a guy from my past. We're supposed to be going to Jamaica in December. His birthday was Saturday. Ghosted me for his B-Day, and 2 days after, called after 3 days of ghosting. Well, that lets you know he had somebody else he was spending some time with, and spending him a good little bit of time. Y'all forgive me 1 second. Let me take my little water break. All righty. So yeah, 9 out of 10 times when a man ghosts you and he ain't dead, it's another woman. 9 out of 10 times. When it's not another woman, he'll tell you exactly what it was, and it's typically a death in the family or some other type of tragedy. Something happened to him personally. But 9 out of 10 times when a man ghosts, it's another woman. God bless you, Jordan. Glad you back on there. Okay. To NBA Foundation offering grants to 501c3 organization. Sure could. I'm sure finna look that up. Go on apply. Go on get that on out there. Need to learn how to write them grants. I have ChatGPT write it for me. Go on submit that in there. I'm a Christian and married. Should we not listen to secular love songs for a romantic evening? Do you think God has a problem with that? Lou Vonda, I think that you asked that question yesterday, but you might have logged off before I answered it. So hopefully you're still on here. And if you married, then it's okay to listen to love music because the sin is fornication. The sin is fornication. The sin is the music that's glorifying and promoting fornication. But love music is love music. You know, secular music, meaning that if it's not a gospel song, but you got to realize, like the Song of Psalms, that's basically love music. So what you have to understand is when you marry, the bed is not defiled. And so it's nothing, you have to always look at it like, is it sin? Is it sin? So if you listening to music and it's talking about getting drunk, then you know being a drunkard is a sin. The body is a temple. If you listen to a song and it's talking about threesomes and you getting ready for a threesome, that is a sin. But love music, why do you think I'm writing a love album? For husbands who love our wives. So that's right there. God wants us to express love for one another. And if you notice too with the songs I'm writing, it's not sexually explicit. It's literally talking about love. Like it's not talking about panties, not talking about body parts, not talking about none of that. So if you can't find nothing like that, then go on download my love songs. And at the end of the day, you got to go to your Holy Bible. My opinion on these things do not matter. Nobody's opinions on these things do not matter. Every question you have about what God likes and don't likes is in the Bible. So you just have to apply it to the Bible and just see, okay, what does God say about this? What does God have to say? Okay, he's ready to get married. Look at that. God bless you. God bless you. And y'all put a hashtag Q in front of your questions if you have one. Life, love, business. I know y'all be talking about love and relationships all the time. Now I'm working on doing a little small love and laughter event in Houston. If I could get the right venue. So in Houston and surrounding areas. Dallas, y'all probably have to drive on in. Rent your little car for $39 for the day. If your car can't make it that far, drive on in. If I get the venue, and then I'm gonna see about that. They'll have you put down a deposit, then sell the tickets or whatever. So try to do that. And South Africa, y'all, grab y'all tickets November 8th, Lord willing. With travel situation, I give y'all a heads up and refund you if something come up with this travel. You with the gentleman here in office, you just never know. If he say, "Oh, American, you going over there? Blacks, y'all go over there to Africa. You can't come back." So got to keep an eye on him. You never know. But as of right now, we still a go. We are still a go. And give me 1 second here now. And now I want y'all to think about this and be very mindful. Y'all gotta forgive me because I have to multitask. Be very mindful about prioritizing you, because with everything that we talking about and with everything that we are seeing, if you're not careful, you'll be releasing cortisol into your bloodstream all day long. You'll be affecting your mental health and your physical health, spiritual health, emotional health all day long if you're not intentional. And so one thing that I share with my clients that we've been working through when we need to make some changes is what I call the Big Four. And with the Big Four, then what you talking about? Oh, okay. Play with shade, right? Okay. And with the Big Four, what that means is every day you need to get in your day planner and plan your tomorrow, and you need to have at least 4 things on your day planner that will move your life forward. 4 things that you need to do that you got to check off. So like today, I lift weights, I got in the sauna, and doing live. That's 3 of my things right there. 4th thing, need to drink my water. 5th thing, need to read my Bible. 6th thing could be 5 to 15 minutes of prayer. So you need to have a minimum of 4 things every single day that's moving your life forward. That's gonna move your life forward now, and then be able. Yesterday, I think I wrote 1 or 2 songs because I'm working on that. Working on a gospel album now that my love album is done. Working on my gospel album, and so I wrote 2 songs. So you got to think about what are you working on, what your goal is, and every day are you working towards that? Are you doing something to get you closer to that goal? To get you closer to that goal. And yeah, we do have a logo, but haven't really posted it or promoted it, nothing yet, but do have a logo. If you make logos, then yeah, you could send one on over, since we ain't really went live with one. Oh, okay, Luvanda, I see you was off of there before I got to your question. God bless you. When y'all miss some of these videos now, y'all go back to them and play them while you on your walk or going to sleep, taking your nap or something like that. Get that information in there, because it might be one sentence. It just might be one sentence that hit you. And as I'm looking around and I'm paying attention to stuff that y'all send me, that's the stuff that I'll be touching on. And shout out to Joya. Joya is one of the consistent Joy is one of the consistent people that send me these different things. And with these relationships, and so ladies, I want y'all to think about this, because every day, I'm working with single moms, and I don't put single moms all in one boat, because, and I want y'all to start talking to young ladies, to the women who are single moms. Talk to your nieces, talk to your daughters. You don't have to beat up on them. You don't have to do all of that, but you got to talk to them about saving themselves and about that other side of being a single mom. Because they sent me where the young lady, Brittany Renner, she got an NBA baby daddy, and he's now married, and he balls out of control on his wife. And now they saying his baby mama, Brittany Renner, want to get her child support bumped up from $5,500 to $35,000. And so you gotta look at that, like, what's that increase? And that comes from when you get in the bed with a man and he's not your husband. So now when y'all break up, there's no spousal support. There's none of that severance, none of those things. So you have to think about that. And so right now, if you are single and you don't have kids, or you have kids and you don't want to have another kid out of wedlock, y'all need to shut it down. Close your legs. Need to shut it down and close your legs. Rachel, not sure what you're talking about there. You might have misunderstood my accent, but you probably need to do another session, because if I said something to you privately, then that's private. You don't want to put your business out here on Front Street, but I don't know who that person is. So maybe that's a typo. And make sure when you do a session, get your questions in on the session. So that way, if it's any misunderstanding, you can get an understanding. But hopefully that ain't from a dream or something, because I definitely don't know who you're talking about or what you're talking about, or if I even had a session with you. So y'all have to, with the spam and stuff out here, I don't be knowing what's real and what's fake. And y'all have to realize, when I do sessions, I do my sessions back to back. So as soon as I hang up the phone, I don't remember anything about you. I don't remember none of your story. That's why when I'm on the session, I'm taking notes, so that if we talk again, I type your name in and I pull up a file and I refresh myself, because I can't take one client business into the next client business. So as soon as we hang up, I forget everything right there. So you can't come back and ask me weeks later about, hey, Tony, because I don't even remember the names, because I work with hundreds of people. So we lock in, we dive in, the Holy Spirit be flowing, and I'm talking to you in that moment. And as soon as I'm done with that, I let it go, because I can't carry that home to my wife and to my kids. I can't keep that on my mind. Like, I got too much going on in my own life, so I'll never be able to talk to you about you or a session outside of that session. So book you another session if you need to get some clarity, but I definitely don't know what you're talking about. And so y'all, I want y'all to think about this, because it's a movement right now in the spiritual realm. Because one thing that you have to notice and realize is that in this here spiritual world, sexual immorality is going to be promoted first. And so don't just say, hey, am I on my back? Think about, what am I watching? What am I looking at online? What am I thinking about in my mind? And am I being pulled into sexual immorality outside of just being in the bed? And to the men, you gotta be able to leave yourself alone. Take you a break from Angela. To the women, take you a break from Handy and from the toys, and start to consecrate yourself and really become one with yourself and do those interviews. The interview where you really get to know yourself. You really get to see who you are. Y'all forgive me here. Instagram. Okay. Y'all gotta forgive my wife texting me. Okay, no, that one. And I'm gonna tell you, you live right, you do the right thing. I told my mama, she's single. I said, Mama, you live right, you do the right thing. Watch what the Lord do. My mama getting her a new house built right now, cause she had ownership of my grandma's house, which was built a century ago. And the folks just came, knocked on the door, saying, "Hey, we are rebuild Florida, and we going into neighborhoods with houses that's been built a long time ago, and we rebuilding them. We get money from the government, and they rebuilding the house right now. They rebuilt the friend house up the street not long ago, brand new house. All right, look at God, being faithful to the Lord. I'm a believer. Y'all remember, see how she got that hashtag Q? Make sure y'all put that on there. And Kiki, welcome to the Blessed Tribe. God bless you. I'm a believer that has been staying off my back for 2 years. A believer is interested in me, but he doesn't abstain. He asked if I am waiting for marriage before. What is a good response? Glad that you are here, Jessica. And I taught on this a long, long time ago. And at the same time, there was an opposing voice teaching on the same topic. A lot of guys used to do that, come and steal the topics. And so it was me and another relationship coach teaching on what to tell a guy when you are abstaining. And my answer was, never tell a guy you waiting until marriage, unless you're a virgin. But even when you do that, it's dangerous, because one thing about men is we love a challenge, we love a goal. So if you set a definite goal and you say, hey, this is a 5-mile race, our body will give us what we need to get 5 miles and 10 steps. If you say this is a 26-mile race, our body will give us what we need to get 26 miles and 10 steps. So if you say, I'm waiting until marriage for sex, you got to realize that is a trick question. Because for one, a man should not be asking you that question. Because what you do with your body is none of his business if it doesn't involve him. So honestly, if I were a woman, I would tell a man, well, actually, that's none of your business. And I tend to mind the business that pays me. If he leaves off of that, now you know you're dealing with a narcissist, a controlling man. Like, a real man gonna respect that. He gonna respect that a woman is strong, that you didn't yell, you didn't curse, but you put him right in his place to let him know, mind the business that pays you. This is my body. This is my relationship with God. I could fail tomorrow, but that's between me and God. I answer to God. He is the judge. So you got to figure out the words, and it's based on your personality, based on the words, but essentially you never give a man an answer to that. The only time I condone that is in a coaching session when I'm talking to a virgin and she's like 40. And I'm like, oh, you gonna make it. You gonna make it. You could tell a man that you waiting. You gonna make it. You 40 and you a virgin, or you finna make it. But I saw one time, I saw this happen where a young lady was a virgin and she gave a guy a chance. He was short, he was bald headed, and he didn't really make any money. And she gave him a chance because she was tired of being single. She had been with the NFL players, you know, the tall, muscular, handsome guys. None of it worked out. She hadn't gave her body away. So she gave Lil Ugly a chance. And he was Lil Ugly in every sense of the word. And they got married after about a year. She gave him her virginity. And then they was divorced within a year. Because when she said she was a virgin, he set a goal. And he would go all the way across the finish line. And she knew celebrities. She was celebrity connected. So they had celebrities at their wedding. They had celebrities donate to their wedding. Like, celebrities paid for different parts. Like, this celebrity paid for the flowers. That celebrity paid for her dress. That celebrity paid for the venue. Because she had celebrity clients. And this was in Atlanta. The city of Atlanta. That's some of the type of men y'all got in Atlanta. And she gave the young man her virginity after marriage. And then he showed his fangs. He got some type of sales job. He started making some money off commissions, doing well. He started smoking cigars, trying to look cool. He started dressing cool. He bought a Mercedes Benz. Like, he became a completely different person, trying to live this persona of a boss. Started talking down to her, started being rude and nasty and mean. All of that. Treating her like crap. But the sister stood on business. The sister stood on business. She said, just because I waited until marriage for sex, I'm not finna stay stuck in this deadbeat marriage. And she divorced him. And today she happily remarried to a real man of God. So it's like, if you saving yourself, even if you done had sex before, if you saving yourself until marriage, and you got that sauce on you to get a husband that's gonna marry you, even if you give him your body and then y'all don't work out, you didn't lose, because you gave your body to your husband. You only lose when you give your body to a man that's not your husband. And so you have to come up with a creative way, because all of y'all ladies that's Christian and that's single, y'all gonna go through this. So this is a whole master class. We could do a whole class on this. And what I mean is, me personally, if I was a woman, I would say to the man, I don't know. Like, I don't just go around picking who I'm finna sleep with, or I don't practice sleeping around. So, if I do, I'll know when I'm ready to. But I don't know. That's the goal. But we none of us want to sin, but we still find ourselves sinning at times. So my goal is to be pleasing unto God. But I'm not gonna willingly be sinning, but I don't know what tomorrow holds. I will answer it in a way like that so that it keeps him on edge, and it let him know that if that's your goal and you want to try, go ahead. But I'm not telling you that I'm having sex before marriage. And this the thing with men is men fail, and I know that sound like to women, you'll say, man, I don't want to be playing games. You're not playing the game. You putting up boundaries. Don't look at boundaries as a game. Don't look at not showing your hand to somebody that's trying to take you down, meaning to that bed. Don't look at not showing your hand as a game. That's protection. That's wisdom. You don't show your hand. Never show your hand. You don't let somebody know your every move, what you about to do. You don't do that, because that's how you get set up by gamers and players and fakers. And so you got to lead a man hanging. You got to let him wonder, and you got to let him work. If he wants you, he gonna work for you. And every real man knows that it is of the essence that we work for a woman's heart. And so what you want to do is you want a man who's going to work for you, work for your heart, and in the process, he falls in love. So even if you do slip up and fall into the bed, he done fell in love with you. So he still want to be with you. He will repent with you. He'll try to live right, do the right thing with you, and y'all will move forward. The issue is women. The issue ain't just the sin, because that fornication is a sin. The issue is also when you sin. See, me and my wife and millions of other couples had sex before marriage because we were not devout Christians walking with the Lord, obeying the Lord, but yet still got married because love had fallen into place. See, the people who have sex before marriage, when they end up co-parenting, single mom or a single dad, or or just breaking up after sex, is because love had not fallen into place. So by the time that I slept with my wife, I had them fell in love with her. I knew that was my wife. And that right there is the big mistake that women make with that fornication. And now it's no way for you to necessarily know. That's why fornication is a gamble. And you still can get played. I have a question. I met a man who is 46. I'm 37. So he's 9 years older. With an 18-year-old in college. He has 2 4 and 8-year-olds. Okay, so recent relationship, 4 years old. Same mom. He seems like a great guy. What are your thoughts on dating a man with small kids? Well, the issue with that is he's still very, very close to the mom. If he had an 18-year-old like you, then that'd be totally different. But he's still very... Y'all got to give him a face shine and did him a face routine today. Only got a 3-step routine, but see my face shining on here. Got that W.A.R. and W.A.R. on. And so you got to realize y'all forgive my wife text me. So that's what you're gonna deal with. Now, yes, they could be about done. They could be just co-parenting, 4 years. That is some time and space, but that don't mean that they've been off each other for 4 years. Because if they had a baby 4 years ago, that means they were still rocking. So then if they done broke up, that could have happened a year, 2 or 3 years after. And so it's not to say that it can't work, but you just got to understand what you're getting into. And don't be expecting nothing more and else than what you're getting into. So the thing that I don't like about these situations right there is women go and get with a man who they know have kids and then get mad about the man talking to the baby mama and about the man going over to the baby mama house to visit his kids or to pick his kids up. And then the woman want to put in all of these boundaries for the man of, you can't talk to her on the phone. When you on the phone with her, you got to be on speakerphone. When you pick up your kids, I got to be in the car. When you pick up your kids, we got to meet at the drugstore or at the park. You can't go to her house. You can't have no rules for a man and his child's mother when you go into his life. Nor can he have rules for you and your child's father. So y'all have to set y'all own rules, and y'all need to be understanding. Y'all need to find out, what are your rules for co-parenting? You need to figure out, you need to learn all his rules for co-parenting. You need to watch for 30 to 90 days on how he co-parents, and he needs to do the same. And then y'all need to come to an agreement that you're gonna agree with his co-parenting style. And if you don't agree with his co-parenting style, he's not the man for you. But you don't get to regulate how he deals with a woman he has a soul tie with and he has children with. So if he don't put in these certain boundaries, you can't come and try to enforce them, because what you're gonna do is you will actually make him cling to her more, and he'll start to miss her because you acting psycho and insecure, and you'll make him draw closer to her by trying to put boundaries between him and her. And that's the mistake that most women make when they dealing with a man with kids. Why do men not want women who want them? They go for women who don't want them. Erica, the same reason women don't want men who want them, and women go for men who don't want them. So it's not a men thing, that's a human thing. Humans seek approval, not love. So when a human, men and women, is dating, humans want to date up, because if the person that you want wants you, now you feel validated. But if somebody wants you that you don't want, you don't feel validated. You feel insulted that they think they're on your level. So that's why humans do that. Men and women do that. And I honestly would say, when I look at it, it could be close to even, but women actually do that more than men do, because a lot of men, although we can date 2 notches up because we provide, a lot of men are with women with a stomach on them, with a flat booty, with, breast that done fell, with, edges done been damaged. Teeth might not be all the way straight. Like, most men have a woman who is just a normal woman. Like, when men try to get a woman who don't want them, that's when it's a man who has been single and he done came into some money. He making 6 figures some kind of way, and now he want to experiment and have that woman with the BBL on his arm to go to the club to feel like a boss. But your average everyday man be with average everyday women. And so just how the man teeth might not be straight, might have a stomach, might not be the tallest, the women be the same, and my wife, we tease each other because I used to wear Dickies shorts with G-Unit tank top. You have to Google that. 50 Cent back in the day when he had a white tank top on, that white tank top 50 Cent was wearing in the video. I think he was on the treadmill or something. I used to wear those tank tops because I used to be real built, not like swole, nasty looking, but just real cut up from playing football and lifting weights. And so I used to wear the G-Unit tank top with Dickies shorts. The Dickies shorts, they kind of loose in the leg and they come right past your knee. I used to wear that with a belt, with a leather belt, black leather belt this thick, but with the cowboy buckle, with the silver buckle with the gold around it, and with a T, gold T on there. With that, it was brown chocolate Dickies shorts with the black G-Unit tank top, with the black belt, with the cowboy belt buckle, with chocolate quarter high Reebok Classics with the bubblegum bottle. That was my outfit. And then if I need to put a shirt on, I had a brown with peanut butter and chocolate Echo shirt with the brown shorts, with the brown and peanut butter classics. And that was my go-to outfit. I used to wear that outfit every week, sometimes 2 times a week. And so my wife and I had a pair of New Balance that was too big for me. They were 2 for $89. 2 pair for $89. They used to flap on the back of my foot. And I wear a 9.5, and I had a size 11 Adidas from my homeboy because his brother is Tracy McGrady and got a lifetime deal with Adidas. And I grew up with Tracy McGrady, and I used to go over there and get shoes from them. And then I used to get Tracy McGrady shorts and his brother's shorts. And that's when you used to wear shorts real big back in 2005, 2006. And Tracy McGrady's shorts was 4X, and I wear a large. And I used to wear them big old Jordan shorts, gray basketball shorts, 4X, with a black G-Unit tank top, with the black New Balance that was too big. So my wife got with me, and I didn't think she had no booty. So she clowned me, and I was clowning her because she didn't have no booty. And she had a little bit of stomach on her because she Indian too. She Indian Jamaican and black Jamaican. And you know how Indians are built different than Africans. And so that Indian in her blood, she had a little stomach on her where when she sat down, it'll have little rolls in it. And me being black and more African, I had been dating black girls, and black girls at that age, they had very flat stomachs because African genetics is different than Indian genetics. And so when I got with my wife, I was always pay attention to that and notice that, she had a little bit of stomach on her. Even though when she stand up, you couldn't see no stomach. And even though it wasn't nothing bad, I wasn't used to it. I was used to dating girls with now by abs, with like a 4-pack, of abs. And with a booty. And so I say that to say, we all have to compromise on those preferences. And both of us try to date up. We try to date up and to get our feelings hurt. I remember I dated up in the 9th grade and the girl was sleeping with a 12th grader. and ain't give me nothing. Some Christmas, okay, meant Christians. I see what you're saying. Some Christians say doing yoga is wrong. My church doesn't talk about it. Your thoughts? You know, the practice of yoga is rooted in other beliefs, but I don't believe that yoga is bad if you're not practicing it in that way. Because I know a lot of Christians that do yoga and God has not cursed them. Their life has not gone down, because it's all about intentionality. God don't punish you for ignorance. If you go into yoga and you're doing a seance to a God and you worshiping that God, now you are intentionally worshiping another God. If you go and do yoga and you see yoga as stretching and you're not doing chants, you're not doing none of that, God knows the posture of your heart and the intention of your heart. So if you're going to stretch, because that's the only stretching class that there's out there. So I see yoga as stretching. I don't see yoga as worship. And I think that people try to be so smart and try to be so deep and want to be so saved and will make this huge issue about something like yoga and then go home and got a bullet and a rose and be going to town. But then talking about somebody who knows nothing about the history of yoga and going in there literally to stretch out their tight back, stretching their tight back and their tight hamstrings, and then have to hear, and I've only ever seen women talk about it because men don't really do yoga, and then have to hear these quote unquote Christian women going so deep into yoga being satanic and yoga being this, but them same women masturbating, fornicating, gossiping, backbiting, and all kind of other sin. All kind of sin. And yoga is not no sin if you're going to stretch. And I talked to my dad, who was a minister, about this, and he said, he agreed with me. He said the same thing. He said, if you're not going in there and you're not worshiping a God, you're not talking to a God, they calling it yoga, you calling it stretching. And I think sometimes Christians be so heavenly minded that we know earthly good and we get so caught up in stuff. And the thing about it too is, like, are you gonna go do yoga? I don't do yoga, but I know somebody that going to do yoga is not going to hell unless they literally going in there and they stretching to a God and they worshiping a God. And it don't, and you can't take and give something that God made and give it to another God. Like, no other God exists other than God. So to say that this is a worship to another, that yoga is a worship to another God, you identifying another God. Don't no other God exists but God. And my God made the body, and he made the body for movement, and he made the body to stretch. So although they calling it yoga, I call it stretching. And I'm stretching unto the Lord if I go to a quote unquote yoga class. And then what you have to also realize is that in America, everything watered down. They calling it yoga, but it's not yoga of the original practice where they could have been worshiping a God or stretching to a God. In America, you just doing a hot stretch. That's all it is. And they just putting that name on it to sound special. So you got to understand the posture of it. And that's why you see it's Christians that do yoga and they flourishing in their life, because God know their heart. God know their heart posture. And God know that they not in there worshiping no other God. Because my mentee Caleb Curl, that almost every woman I coach say they would love a man like Caleb Curl. Caleb do yoga every day. Flourishing in life. Doing great. Skin good. Healthy. He do yoga every day. And love the Lord. Absolutely love the Lord. So it's all about you taking the power back. God made the body to stretch and move. Don't take and give God's thing to somebody else, because, and the reason why people find something wrong with it, because they don't want to spend money on exercise and they don't want to move their body. So they looking for any excuse to not go work out, to not go do the stretching. Oh, that's right. Weightlifting might have was started by atheists. So you not gonna go lift weights? It's like the devil is the prince of the air. Marathons probably was started by atheists. So you not, they was running to the sun god. They was running to, you see what I'm saying? When you go look into something, just like people saying, oh, I'm not gonna shop here or shop there because they got a racist on their board. You ain't shopping nowhere then. Every store you go into got a racist on the board. Every piece of clothing you got on got a racist that helped make it. It's like we have to take the power back and know that God is the ruler of everything. And we have dominion on this earth. So if you want to go stretch and they call it yoga, you could put your headphone in and have gospel music playing and you make your stretching unto the Lord. You see what I'm saying? It's about what you making it. Now, if you go in there and you chanting and saying seances to a so-called another God, you in sin. You in sin. Y'all only have to post y'all question one time because I'm going in order on here. Why is it that a man can have everything that he wants in a woman and still not be satisfied? Is it that he is not into women, or is it that they are more attracted to women who put themselves first? More attracted to women who put themselves first. Well, Erica, is a man has never had everything that he wants in a woman. And in fact, no human has ever had everything they want in a human. Because, so I would like to have everything my wife wants in a man, but I know I don't. Nor does she have everything that I want in a woman. That's just not humanly possible, because the human mind is, we're gonna want perfection. We're gonna paint a picture of something that is this right here, and it's gonna check every box. But with humans, it's not realistic. So our goal is to try to become everything our partner would want. But so when a man cheats, that's because he's a cheater. That's because he has no self-control in that season of his life. That's why he cheats. It has nothing to do with the woman. So the woman could have none of what he wants. The woman could have nearly everything he wants. And if he is a cheater, he's still going to cheat. So in seasons, and this is the thing, when you have a faithful man, there will be seasons where his woman may not know how to cook. She doesn't cook. If he's a faithful man, he's not gonna go cheat with a woman who cooks. There will be seasons where a woman may not be very sexual, or she may be overly sexual, whatever side she on, end of the spectrum that she's on. He's not gonna go cheat with a woman who is the opposite if he's a faithful man. Now, if he is a cheating man, then it doesn't matter what a woman does. She can cook, she can clean, she could sleep with him every day. And so there are some women, and they like, oh, you know, I've seen women online that say they get a man oral every day, or they sleep with a man every day so that he's satisfied and he ain't got to go nowhere. That actually could work against those women, because lust cannot be quenched. It has to be starved to death. When you feed lust, it only gets stronger. So the women that say they sleep with their man every day, when we as men having a release every day, you know what it does? It tells our brain it's mating season, and it make us go more crazy. It make us want it more. So what it'll actually do is it'll make a man now want something different, want variety, because he getting the same mouth or the same vajay every day. And so now he'll get bored of that because he's not getting any breaks from it. And every woman is different. Every woman body is different. Every woman experience is different. Every woman techniques is different. So the women who think that they keeping a man at home by giving him a release every day could actually be turning him up. And if he's a faithful man, it's going to be enough for him. If he's a cheater, it's going to make him want more. He going to want to go see what Becky got, what Tasha got, what Lucy got, what Tamika got. He going to want to go see, because that lust can't be quenched. And so you got to understand that you have to look at a man's character. And what you got to look at, you got to ask yourself, is this man faithful to God? Is he faithful to God? That's what you're going to have to look at. How long I've been on here? An hour? What time I got on here? 11? Okay, 11 to 1. First coaching call at 1 p.m., y'all. So, hour and 6 minutes. Been on here hour and 6 minutes. I only got an hour and 6 minutes left. So that's what I want you to realize. Y'all put hashtag Q in front of your questions. And these going to be, now y'all know I'm going to keep it real with you. And everybody ain't going to agree with everything, because we got some people that, they already know it all. And so you got to realize that. And see, this here answer on the thing. See, that's how they... So guess what? If you not a Hindu, you ain't doing yoga. You stretching. The Hindus is doing yoga. We doing a Goya. When we go to yoga, we ain't doing yoga. We doing a Goya. Because we not Hindus. We don't know Hindu gods. So I did yoga one time at a retreat, and it's not for me, because my body don't stretch like that. And when I was in, I was very intrigued. I was like, wow, man, seeing these people moving and scratching like this, all this right here. Why you putting your leg over here? You leaning like this, you doing like this, you doing like... I was like, nope. Got to go. Got to go. I did yoga one time. You hear me? And I realized, and then I also realized, I said, you know what, yoga ain't for me, because that's gonna send me into sin, because there's too many Buddhas in there. There's too many Buddhas bent over and all this right here, all them tight leggings on. I say, yeah, yoga ain't for me. I said, it's worse than going to church and all the black women with all that booty bouncing in that dress in front of you during praise and worship. I'm like, I started having to go to the white church where there wasn't no Buddhists in there, so I could focus on the Lord. Because I was at the black church, all them hands jumping up and down. I'm like, Lord, hey, okay, hey. The whole time I'm in church, I'm like, Lord, please forgive me, Lord, please forgive me, Lord, please give me the strength, please give me the strength, please give me the strength, keep my head up, Lord, please give me the strength. And it just hound, ooh. I say, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I can't do that. It ain't for me. It ain't for me. Jessica, God bless you now. God bless you. God bless you. Y'all, I'm looking for y'all question. Tony, I have 4 years experience working for a home health agency as an operations manager. Operations manager. I desire to open my own home health business, but I need additional startup funds. Please advise. Well, Denisha, now you could try the Small Business Association and see if they have something in that space, but also there's different types of home health agencies, and so you have the ones where you take the few classes that are free and you get your provider number, and then you able to start being contacted by the caseworkers, the support coordinators, to where you could go into the homes and you can work with those clients, or you can get on Indeed and you can hire whatever role it is, whether that's a CNA or just a aide or a RN or a LPN, whatever is needed. You can hire them through your company, and all you need for that type of home health agency where people are going, you sending yourself or a staff member into someone's home, all you need for that is just the funds to live, really, for the few months until you start getting the checks coming in, because you bill, when you bill at the end of the month or beginning of the month, however it's done in your state, then you're gonna get paid. So they just want you to have like 2 months worth of expenses so that you can fund your business for them first couple of months while you or your staff is working those jobs. And then you can go into like the agency where you got a home or you got a facility or you got an apartment complex or something like that. So always start small and start where the bare minimum, because I helped my sister open hers, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it literally cost like $500, and she had it for 5 years before she closed it and retired. But she made hundreds of thousands of dollars, a year, anywhere from 100 to 300,000 a year she made, and it literally cost $500 to start. And she had the agency where she hired people to go into people's homes, which you get that out the gate at the beginning. And then she opened up the home, which was considered a group home, where she had 3 clients in there and could have had 6, because it was 3 bedroom, and you could have 2 to a bedroom. And the clients would be paid around $5,000 or more a month. And then you just have to take them out bowling or whatever, and cook food every day, what have you. So making some good money in there, but it didn't cost. And she had a house already, so that's where just getting a few things up to code, putting locks on the cabinets, stuff like that, new toilet, little stuff like that is what costs. But it literally, I feel like I spent like $500, and so it's ways to get around it. It is ways to get around it. Y'all gotta forgive me, just making sure I ain't missing nothing. Give me 1 second, y'all. You see that? What RJ say? It's like some people know, like God owned the body. God owned the stretching. So what I call it, a goy. So we ain't doing yoga, we doing a goy. That's yoga backwards. So if you go in there, go in there with your church music on and stretch unto the Lord. I know I need coaching, but how do men read us? Guy asked for a hug after I gave my number. I said no, not the first time I've been asked. Is that a test men do? Will be more selective moving forward. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that, Summer, of a guy asking for a hug. So that definitely was a pervert. Definitely was a pervert. And, it could be something that he read on you. Could be something he read on your spirit. But again, a pervert is a pervert. Y'all, we working on the YouTube mini series. Link in the description. Looking for some more producers. We almost there. I think they say we 55% of the way. And so I'm putting me some coins to the side, because the way Kickstarter work is, it's all or nothing. So you got to cross it or not. So I have to go and do me a little Chip and Dale, get on somebody's pole to get us on cross the finish line. We don't get there. I think we got 14 days left. So you'll see that. Yeah, y'all know about that now. Right. And that. The link might be in the description. Oh no, my dad link is on not on the screen. It's on the community page. So when you go to click on my profile on YouTube and then go over to community or to post, you will see it there. Do you think a marriage can be restored after 11-year separation? And if so, if they did get it restored, how do you know it was God's doing? I don't really believe in that. I don't really believe in that. Hold on 1 second. But I don't believe in it. And the reason why, now God could do anything. But when it's God's doing, you won't be able to mistake it. The peace of God will be there. You won't walk in trepidation. You won't have timidity. You won't have unsurety. You will feel an assurance, and you will feel a peace and a love, and it'll be consistency. You won't see signs of the past, nor will it feel overly fake. It will feel authentic. It will feel pure. And you will see a change has been done in each person to where they've grown and they've learned, they've evolved as people. And you'll see that, and you'll sense that, and you'll feel that. But so if a marriage was to be reconciled after 11-year separation, you would really need to start over from the beginning and date for 1 year to 2 years to see if it's authentic, to see if it's real, and to see if it's consistent and it's pure and it's full of love. But typically what's going to happen is about 6 months in, the same signs that ended the marriage is going to start to show back up. And that's what you got to be mindful of. I'm a married mom of 3. I've taken courses and used different resources, but I'm still struggling to actually execute my plan. I can't afford coaching right now. I just feel exhausted. Help, please. Well, I'm going to tell you, your exhaustion, you are not alone. I am exhausted with you, very exhausted. And you see, I'm on here working right now for 2 hours, and then I got to coach 3-4 clients, another probably 4 hours of running my mouth. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 coaching sessions a day. So that's 4 more hours after these 2 hours. And when I get a break between 4:30 to 8 p.m., I got to do Pop the Balloon reviews for y'all. So that's going to be another, what that is, 4:30 to 8, 3.5 hours. That's going to be another 3.5 hours. So I want you to understand, you have to embrace that exhaustion, but you got to do things for yourself that relieve some of that exhaustion. So you got to create space. You got to create peace. And so this is what I'm going to ask you. Do you put your phone down at 9 p.m.? That answer is most likely no. Are you asleep by 10:30 p.m.? That answer is most likely no. Do you walk 30 minutes a day? That answer is no. Do you drink your body weight in ounces of water every day? That answer is no. Do you read 2 chapters of your Bible every day? That answer is no. Do you pray 15 minutes a day? That answer is no. You know how to know? I know them answers no? Because I'm one of the most hardworking, consistent people in the world, and I don't do half of that. So what we have to realize is that, like Zig Ziglar says, never a lack of time, it's a lack of direction. So when you take and you implement those small steps, because you look at it and be like, man, what water got to do with my dreams? That water is oxygen to your body. That water is clarity. What does sleep got to do? Sleep add to your life. You're going to live longer the more you sleep. Sleep decreases your brain fog. Sleep increases your creativity. So now, being a mom of 3, you have to give your kids structure. So they get out of school, they got a routine. Boop, 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 boop. Homework, playtime, shower time, dinner time, bedtime story, bedtime. They got a schedule. Boop, 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 boop. They got structure. You putting them down an hour before you go to bed. So now you got time to yourself. So now you can't just be on social media. You got to be working on your goal. You got to be working on your gift. Now see, you got that nice bang. It look like you got perfect skin. Let me see what good eye. Look like you got the lips that they paying for. You got the nose that they paying for. You got the eyebrows. They did right. You don't have a big forehead. You got a forehead, not a forehead. Your hair's done nice. Got your dainty necklace on, your earring. Got your little hand up there to your shoulder, smizing. Got your little pose. So guess what you could do? You could get on Alibaba, and them earrings you got in, you could order 20 of them earrings for $60. Then you could get on Etsy. You could create a page, and you could say, you got to put in that you made the earrings. You made them. They yours now. Got to work the system now. Don't let Etsy block you out. I made these. You could put a little white, a little clear nail polish on them, and that's your little touch. Ooh, got a little glisten on them. You made them. You get them earrings you got on. You get that necklace you got on. If you ring you got on, you could come up with a bracelet with an inscription that say, I'm winning, I'm pressing, glory, faith, blessings, endurance, consistency. You could get the little gold, sterling silver. It's sterling silver plated gold, or you could just get sterling silver. You could get it inscribed and pay $5 a bracelet. Sell them for $25 right on Etsy. Then you save up, you come to me with $500. Say, Tony, got my jewelry line on Etsy. Can you post this on the community page to the Blessed Tribe? Yes, I can. $500. Because I don't do favors for women. $500. The Blessed Tribe is 3,000 members. So it's always going to be 30 people with a few dollars to their name. And the Blessed Tribe is curated. So if you're in the comments negative, I block you out the Blessed Tribe. It's curated to people who want to learn, who want to grow, who got a good heart, who trying to do their best. So anytime I post something to the Blessed Tribe community page that's for the Blessed Tribe members, people support. It might be 10 purchases, might be 20 purchases, might be 5 purchases. So when you curate your life to where you declutter, you get things in order, you do your Saturday, your Sunday cleaning, get your space clean, give your kids chores, get them a schedule, and you get things in order, and then you create small steps. And this is the thing, nobody can afford coaching. I can't afford coaching. It ain't that anybody can afford coaching. It's that you can't afford not to get coaching. Because the little few dollars you afraid to spend is making you miss thousands of dollars. That's what I had to realize. So the coaching that I got, everything I built, I had to sacrifice. And I made so many investments in myself that sent my account into the negative. But you know what I did not do? Is I did not get knowledge and sit on it. I activate immediately. Guess what? And see, this is what I want y'all to understand. Y'all don't activate. Y'all don't activate. I'm telling you, humans, we idle. Guess what? Last week, I found out that a young lady is being offered millions of dollars for her songwriting. She using AI to create, she writing the song supposedly and using AI to sing the songs. The site she used was in the caption of the page that posted it. So what did I do? I got right to it, and since I found that out last week, I now already released 2 songs on iTunes. I wrote 2 more songs last night. I done wrote a 10-song album. It's really like 8 songs. 2 of the songs that got remixes. 10-song album. I done already submitted it last week. And they holding it up right now. Got me changing a little stuff. Changing this right here. Guess how much it costs? The software costs, I think, $10 a month. $10. The distribution site, TuneCore, costs $40 for the year. For $50, I produced a whole album. Guess what? Somebody just wrote, Tony, I downloaded the songs. Guess what? That money already coming back. That money already coming back. If you just go buy the song, so if you don't pay monthly for Apple Music, and you just go buy the song, it's 99 cents. All I need, they're going to give me 70 cents. Apple take 30%. So I spent $50 to produce the album. So look at this. 50 divided by 0.70. I need 71 people. 71.4. I need 72 people to go pay 99 cents to download one of my songs, and I done made my money back after 71 people. And from there, for the rest of my life, it's all profit. That's how you have to start thinking. This stuff is easy, but you have to realize that your brain will give you the macro. You got to reduce to the micro. So you can't afford not to have coaching. You got to be able to say, hey, I'm finna take, when I get paid, I'm finna look at these bills. I'm cutting out Netflix. I'm cutting out cable. I'm cutting out Stars. I'm cutting out eating out. I'm cutting out this little subscription, this little subscription. I'm cutting out all waste. I'm buying some rice. I'm buying some chicken. I'm buying some beans. And me and my kids, we getting in the kitchen every day after school and work, and we cooking. We cooking for the whole week. We either cooking every day or we meal prepping on Sunday. And I'm cutting out everything else, and this extra money that I done carved out, I'm finna invest in myself. And that's how you got to think. So because you're in the Blessed Tribe, you just got your whole coaching session for $1.99. How do men view women who have exited the blank industry and have changes? Nah, Stephanie, you asking the question for somebody else, or you asking the question for yourself? Let me look at you with a good eye. All right, all right. Now you asked the question now. So what kind of industry you was out there in? What kind of industry you was out there in? Stephanie, I'm gonna tell you the truth. You're gonna get judged. You're gonna get judged. And I'm gonna tell you this right here. If a man give you a chance, he gonna want that action that you was out there doing. So if you was out there on the pole, he gonna want to see you on the pole. If you was out there on OnlyFans doing all that, he gonna want to see you do all of that. See, the issue is when the issue is, it ain't that a man won't love you and look past it. The issue be when a woman was being paid by other men to do stuff, and then she get a husband, and now she want to be a nun, and she can't do nothing. That's where the issue come in. But now, and also, if a woman leave that industry, you got to date down. You cannot get Mandingo Kangalang out here. You cannot. He would not. It would not be a fit. He'll be ready to pimp you. You have to get you a man who is slightly or grossly looks challenged, because he's not gonna judge. He gotta be little looks challenged, and he's gonna be stick skinny, or he gonna be heavy set. Whether that's 2 pit legs with a lollipop gut, or whether that's heavy set from head to toe. Because those men, they're not gonna judge. Because they just happy to have somebody, because women are so cutthroat with who they looking for. And I'm gonna tell you now, yes, if you love the Lord and you're a devout Christian, God could do anything. But it's a very slim chance that you're gonna have a tall, handsome, fit, muscular, emotionally intelligent man of character that's gonna be with you if you left that sex industry. It's very, very slim chance. Very slim chance. Me personally, I would never. Because I just wouldn't be able to trust. That's what you call a resume. So I wouldn't be able to do it. But I might not be man enough. It might be other men that they like, hey, that don't bother me. I already know it's men that don't bother me. But see, with me, I don't trust humans. I trust God. So for me, my fear would be, what if she wake up one day and she like, man, I missed that pole. Oh, man, I miss making that fast money. Or what if we fall on hard times and she like, I know something I could do. If you all right with it. That's what my worry will be. My worry will be, and that's unfair because I was a womanizer. So a woman could say, hey, Tony, what if you go back to womanizing? And that's why I say everybody get to make their choice. So you can't say, give me grace, because I would give you grace. So if you choose to overlook something, that's your choice. But you can't expect everybody else to make that same choice. So what I would do if I was a woman, unless it's publicly documented, I wouldn't mention that I've been in the sex industry. Everybody don't need to know everything. Because a man not going to tell you all his business. So I wouldn't mention it. A man not finna tell you. The man might used to eat groceries. And I'm not talking about at the grocery store. He ain't finna tell you that. That he used to be down there brown nosing every day. You not finna know that. And if you knew that, you probably look at him totally different. I'm like, what the hell? Used to do what? How many women you did that to? 30. What? You ate the groceries of 30 different women? But it's a lot of men you meet that did that. Technically, he was in the sex industry, but for free. You see what I'm saying? So everything, and that's what I be trying to help y'all understand, is that women are innately wired to submit. Because women be telling men all their business. And then be feeling guilty if they don't. That's a woman trait. A man don't feel guilty about you not knowing nothing. Man don't feel guilty about it at all. Women be feeling, well, I feel like I'm lying to him. You ain't lying to him. He ain't even ask you about that. He ain't even think about that. You ain't lying to him. So I'm going to tell you. Like they say, what you don't know won't hurt you. Although that's not all the way true across the board, in relationships, it's true. Meaning, and not all the way, but meaning like, okay, yes, you got AIDS. Somebody don't know it, it's going to hurt them. But you don't have to lay out your whole past to somebody. Let them judge you for who you are today. And when they go to digging in your past, you tell them, I don't like to talk about the past because I don't want to judge you for your past. And that shuts it right down. And you move on forward with your life. You move on forward with your life. Yeah, they ain't going to be able to get to that one, Manoni. So now another way you could put it, for those of y'all who asked about my dad page, it's just mymentor.life/Tony Gaskins. And you type that in, you get on over there. If a man really love you, would he let you walk away and never come back again for you? That's a good question there now. Because there's always exceptions to the rule. And some men will. So it's not a one size fits all. So a man who knows love and he was raised in love and he understands love, that man won't. But a man who was raised and he has suffered through abandonment and abuse, and he was raised so cold, that he doesn't know how to be warm, that man will actually let someone he loved walk away because he already went through it with his dad or with his mom or with his first love or what have you. So you got to think about that. I see y'all still y'all talking about that yoga. Now I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if it's anybody closer to the Lord than I be. And I don't feel nothing is wrong with yoga. And that's why you have to have your own convictions. But if you're not worshiping, like if you see it as more than stretching, then that means you would be in sin, because your heart's posture is that you are stretching to a God, to another God. So you would be in sin. If you see yoga as stretching and you're going to stretch, you're not going to worship, then you're not in sin, because all you're doing is stretching. Because it literally is, the yoga moves are the same moves that you do in sports. It's the stretches that you do a lot of those stretches. They do the same stretches at the Division I basketball and pro basketball teams that I go to. They do the same stretches. Like, they go do yoga as a team. So it's not that deep. Like, regardless of what the Hindu said it was, that's what it is for them. But just as you know, when it comes to America, it's now for money. They got yoga studios for money. So you have to talk to God for you. You got to know what it is for you. And so that's the thing. It's like, if you going in there to do that, then that's what you're doing. But I know Christians who are yoga instructors, love the Lord, blessed by the Lord, highly favored by the Lord, everything going great in their life, and they literally yoga instructors. And so it's like everybody not seeing it that same way, and so you have to know. And I think that if the Bible don't talk about yoga, the Bible say put no other God before God. Like, worship no other God. So if you going in there and you worshiping a God, then you in sin. If you going in there to stretch, you're not in sin. So you got to look at what the Bible say. And I think that as Christians, sometimes we try to tackle the things that's easy for us to tackle so we could feel a sense of self-righteousness. So we'll say, oh, yoga is a sin. Yoga is worshiping these other gods, so I'm not going to do yoga. But truthfully, you might just be lazy and you don't want to stretch your body and you don't want to sweat and you don't want to put yourself in that thing. So that's something easy that you can argue with and overcome. But then you go get your vibrator. Then you go get on your gossip phone call with your homegirl. Then you go and look at this man in his gray sweatpants looking at his print. Then you go start talking to this guy in this relationship and you in fornication. But yet you was able to win against yoga by not going to yoga. But then lose in nearly every other area that actually matters to God. I guarantee you, you're not finna get to the gates of heaven and the Lord say you ain't coming in because you went to the yoga class. Unless you was in there worshiping a God. Then that's going to be totally different. And that's what you got to realize. I don't do yoga, but I don't condemn people who do. My wife don't do yoga. My wife do Pilates. And I think, and the man who created Pilates was a prisoner. So it's like the person who created the gym probably was a prisoner. It's like, it sounds like the way Paul talked, sound like Paul used to do yoga before it was. But and as far as we know, the Hindus could have stole the stretches from Christians. Cause Paul say he buffeted his body. So it's like we really don't be knowing. It's like, so you got to look at where your heart is at. That's what you got to understand. And so, and this right here is too. No, you sanction the environment, meaning that if you go and you condone something, and you say, hey, yeah, we in here worshiping this other Hindu god, then that's you sanctioning the environment. You going in there to participate in a worship. But if you going in there and you saying, hey, I'm praying, I'm talking to the Lord, I'm stretching, you can't get that deep in it. Like the saying say, don't be so heavenly minded that you are no earthly good. You can't get so caught up in the minutia. Like, you got to be focused on what really matters with your salvation. And that's what you got to realize. And yes, you can stretch without going to a yoga class. But if you want to go to a yoga class, then God not going to be mad at you if you go into a yoga class for a guided stretch and it is not worshiping. And so that's one thing too. Before you go to a yoga class, you need to talk to the yoga instructor and see what the yoga instructor do. And so if the yoga instructor says, hey, yeah, this worship, we worshiping this certain God of such and such. Now you know. The yoga instructor may tell you, no, we stretching. I'm a devout Christian. We love the Lord. We don't play no chanting music. We don't do no chants. We don't do none of that. Like, that's just what the owner of the building had to call it to make money for mass appeal. We couldn't call it Stretch Lab, which they got a Stretch Lab too. They got Stretch Lab where you just go get stretched for $25 or more. Y'all put the hashtag Q in front of your question. I'm almost 30 with no kids and single. I would prefer to date men without kids. Almost 30 with no kids and single. Should I change this preference since I'm getting older and more people will have kids than not? No, you don't have to change your preference until you see it starting to hurt you. And if life forces you to change it, that's one thing. But I know plenty of men your age without kids. I would venture to say most men your age don't have kids. Today, it's a new day today. Men have kids. But you almost 30, like 35 and under, it's a lot of men without kids. A lot of men without kids. So you ain't at the place where you got to change that yet. And then somebody not having kids could be considered a standard instead of a preference, because having kids have to deal with what the person has done with their body, this person having a soul tie, this person having a co-parent, this person having an emotional relationship with another person, a spiritual relationship with another person, like the soul tie, co-parenting relationship. So saying you want somebody without kids could technically be a standard, because kids are a part of your foundation. It's a part of like the core things of life. Whereas if it was something that is expendable, dispensable, something that could be done away with, or something that is out of their control, then those things are things that are seen more as a preference. They have no control over their height. If you say you don't want somebody because they smoke, that's a choice that they're making. They have control over that, and they hindering their body, so they're gonna die earlier than you. And so you could say that. So standards are rooted in morals and values and foundational things of life. And preferences are typically inconsequential things, or things that is out of a person's control. And so try to, figure it out like that. Is it true that men mature slower than women? Tony, what are your thoughts? Yes, that is true, unfortunately. That is true. As a man, I have to admit that. My wife is 2.5 years younger than me, and she's, I would say, technically more mature than me. So yes, that is true. I see a lot of smiley faces or laughing faces in the chat. I do not have a clue what y'all was laughing about, because I know I did not tell a single joke or funny in the chat. That was a long time ago though. That was 11:57. I'm late on this here chat. I'm going slow. Let me make sure. Okay, y'all forgive me. Get on over here real quick. I ain't even see that Sonny Lee. Forgive me. We have an 8-month-old daughter together, and we also live together. Whenever I tell him that I'm irritated or that anything is bothering me, he becomes very cold and distant. Make it work or walk away. Make it work. That's just his, although it's not the best way to handle it, you could put that in writing in a text message so he could read it, but it's normal. It's a human behavior. Like, more humans than not will have that same response. More humans than not. In this setting, through coaching every day, more humans than not will handle things the way he handled it, and so you will be single the rest of your life, because a person has to be taught how to be confrontational, has to be taught how to resolve conflict, have to be taught how to articulate his or her feelings, communicate his or her feelings. That is something that's very, very rare in our world. And then sometimes too, you have to put the shoe on the other foot and think about what would you do and how would you feel if he presented irritation and something that bothers him as much as you present to him. If he presented it as much to you as you do to him, how would you feel? And 99% of humans are going to feel attacked, going to feel misunderstood, unheard, not seen. Like, if right now, all of us picture, if we all right now picture somebody coming to us and saying, hey, I'm irritated by you doing this, none of us really gonna be like, oh really? Well, thank you so much for telling me that. I really appreciate that, and I am going to change that like right now because you told me that. Like, that is really, really amazing that you told me that. Thank you so much. None of us gonna do that. We're gonna be like, huh? What? That what you worried about? That what you really? You come way here to talk to me about, huh? That's how humans handle it. It's just men and women. What? Or we get defensive. Well, I'm irritated by you doing this. Or I only did that because you do this. So the problem with most relationships, and this is what I learned from my wife. She is amazing. She is absolutely amazing. When I tell you, like, she'll tell me something, and like she told me in her bathroom, don't move her wipes. And she do little stuff too, but I realize I don't really care about it. So I let her get that off her chest. This is where my wipes go. Don't have my wipes up here on the thing. And let the toilet seat down. If you come in my bathroom and use my bathroom, let the toilet seat down. Child, please. Child, please. Like, I ain't worried about it. Like, okay, let the toilet seat up if you use my bathroom. So that when I come in there, I ain't got to let it up. We even. And so the thing with relationships is a lot of times we really turn molehills into mountains. When you should not, if it's not worth breaking up over, it's not worth arguing over. So like when my wife say that, she been saying that for 18 years. She might say that once a month about the toilet seat. 90% of the time I let the toilet seat down, but she don't realize it. Only time I leave it up is I might be rushing. But I know she ain't finna be in divorce court and say he left the toilet seat up one too many times and I am done. And so yeah, we could make a big deal out of it and say, oh, that's inconsiderate, that's disrespectful. But deep down we know that's not the truth. We know that that was never the intention. So it's like if my wife leaves something out, she leaves something. She leave a feminine personal thing out. She leaves something somewhere it ain't supposed to be, or she don't properly dispose of something, or she leave socks, or it might be drawers on the floor or something like that, or you know, we all can find something to be irritated about, male and female. And so what you have to realize is you got to ask yourself, is this worth breaking up over? If the answer is no, then don't mention it. Just let it go. And that's what my wife has shown me. She's never come to me and said, I need to talk. We need to talk. She never come to me and said, and I'm not perfect by no means. And if it's something she wants me to know, she'll just say it in passing. Hey, come here. Don't leave my wife over here. My wife's doing this thing right here. And she said kind of sarcastic. She kind of got a little smirk, a little smile, because she knows it's not that big of a deal. But as far as like a town hall meeting, she ain't never had one. She'll just say what she got to say in passing, one little quick sentence. She not confrontational. And so that has taught me to be less confrontational. So we got to think about this. And what's the caller? Raquel LPN, do you think oral loving is a sin in a Christian marriage? I think that is something that you have to read your Bible and see if scripture tells you that the bed is defiled with your spouse if you do something orally. Because I feel like I feel like your bedroom is your bedroom and what you do. So I don't judge people in a bedroom if they're not in sin. Sin is fornication. Sin is adultery. I haven't got to the part of the Bible about eating peach cobbler, because to me, I feel like if God say ravish in your wife's bosom, that cobbler ain't too far from that bosom. So the way I look at it, like, Lord, why you gonna tell me to ravish in the bosom? What you want me and ravish now? Is that what it say? It say something like that. Somebody outside. Say something like that. And it's different. Man, come on now, y'all. I can't find what I'm talking about right now. Oh, okay, there you go. 19. And see, the Bible poetic now. The Bible poetic. Assembly of God's people. Drink water from your own cistern. Running water from your own well. Should your springs overflow in the streets, your streams of water in public squares. Let them be yours alone, never to be shared with strangers. May your fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth, a loving doe, a graceful deer. May her breast satisfy you always. May you ever be intoxicated with her love. Why, my son, be intoxicated with another man's wife? Why embrace the bosom of a wayward woman? For your ways are in full view of the Lord, and he examines your paths. So you see right there, and the Bible tells us to be, may her breasts satisfy you. So that right there is telling a man to be all into his woman. So that's why I've heard the people who turn out to be in fraud, the Pinky Promise lady and her husband, Heather Lindsay and Cornelius, or Heather Cornelius or whatever, when people telling me that they say that oral sex is a sin and all of this, and I'm like, why are we even talking about that in church? About married couples, like going into married couples' bedrooms and stuff like that. Like, what is that even about? Like, it probably one of them didn't want to do it to the other person, and probably just figured they'll turn it into a sermon. Then that thing come to find out they embezzling church funds to buy Range Rovers. Like, probably should have ate you a little peach cobbler, would have kept you out that embezzlement and having to move from Atlanta to California. So the thing about it is, y'all have to start trying to, thinking about that clickbait stuff and the questions y'all be asking too, clickbait questions. Because me personally, if my dad always told me, he say, son, don't ever talk about your bedroom with another man. So I don't get caught up in people's bedroom. And I feel like what the Bible talk about as a sin is being with a woman while she on her period, and also sodomy, which is in the back door, and it's quote unquote devout Christians in the back door of their wife. And so it's like people gonna have to see the Lord one day. And the thing about it is, you got to realize, do you think the Lord gonna do a Hebrew biblical translation class before he let you in heaven? So I honestly believe God is evaluating the hearts of his people, because not all God's people can read, not all God's people can comprehend, not all God's people could hear, not all God's people could see. God is a spirit, and we serve him in spirit and in truth, not in word, not in letter and in word. We serve him in spirit and in truth. So whenever you feel tempted to go get the opinion of a man or the opinion of a woman, make sure that you sit at the feet of the Lord and you sup with the Lord and you pray and you read your Bible and you ask for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And then you apply what you read to your life. And God will give you, and that's if you could read and comprehend, read and write. And that's why I try to tell people who get so caught up trying to be geniuses of reading and comprehending, and I have to remind them, you think every Christian is literate? You think every Christian could read? It's like, no, we got to know. Once we know God, then we know righteous, we know evil. And because God is a spirit, and we have the Holy Spirit in us, when you living righteously and your heart is set towards righteousness, when you go to getting in sin, you're going to have a spiritual conviction. Regardless of your comprehension skills, you're going to be convicted. You're going to feel that convict. That's the Holy Spirit. For it not to be would be saying that the Holy Spirit is a lie and that the Holy Spirit is not real. That's why the Holy Spirit exists, for the conviction and also for the assurance and the love and the grace and the mercy and the peace of the body. That's why the Holy Spirit there. Grace beyond that sin. So the thing about it is we mistake the spiritual realm for the human realm. And we try to make the spiritual human. And we try to wrap our minds, our finite minds, around an infinite God. And that is human ego. That's human error, trying to fully and completely understand God, when we will never fully and completely understand God. And that's why the Bible says serve God in spirit and in truth. Not in letter and law, in spirit and in truth. Don't be like the Pharisees on the corners quoting all these scriptures, but their heart is wrong. Their heart is not pure. Worship God in your closet. Pray in your closet. Serve God even in secret, and you will be blessed in the public. And so that's where you got to get to for the body, because we get too caught up in the minutia and too caught up in the podcast heads and all of these so-called think they know everything about the Bible, and they sitting trying to break down everything the Bible say, and then they coming back and have to apologize because they was wrong and then figured out where they erred and all of that. It's like, it is not reading a comprehension class. God wants your heart. He don't want your intelligence. He wants your heart, because there are illiterate Christians. There's deaf, there's blind, there's lame, there's dumb, whatever term out there, the literal clinical term, it's all kind of Christians. And so that's what we got to get to. So I'm glad y'all asking spiritual questions. And God bless you. Cash App ain't been working. Let me receive nothing. Sister tried to send me a Cash App. Cash App blocked her 3 times. That sister went to Venmo. I say, well, look here. I say, boy, God, see, that's the God I serve. I say, I ain't got to do what Anita Bynum I'm doing and get up there and be begging. If God touch somebody's heart, and this why, and I want you to think about that from my perspective. I want you to think about that from your perspective. If God touch somebody's heart to bless you, they gonna bless you. They gonna bless you, because that's between them and God. They're like these people building my mama a house for free. My mama served God faithfully. Serve God faithfully. Seek his face every day. And now here she getting a whole house built, which they'll sell that house for $250,000 that they about to build her. At the minimum, 150, 175. Question: how do I break things off with someone for good? He's a master manipulator, just recently threatened. But what do? I block. But at this point, do I communicate? Listen, with that right there, I might be the wrong person to ask Jordan, because my approach to that type of stuff is a little different. And my approach is, if you die, and if you took your own life, you're going to hell, because you committed murder against yourself. If you die, you die. That's my. I let the dead bury the dead. And I done told every woman I ever dealt with in my life, including my wife, if you ever pull that suicide card, I'm gonna let you go with it and go right ahead. God bless you. I got to go. Can't get caught up on what people talking about. You got to resolve in your heart. You got to pray for the strength, for the wisdom, the understanding, the knowledge. And you cannot let somebody manipulate you and hold you by the throat, hold you locked up, tied up with their manipulation. Because if somebody wants to do that, they're going to do that. And you can't stop it. But one thing I try to tell y'all, and that you got to remember, recognize crazy early. Today need to be the last day. You send him a message, hey, God bless you. We done had our time. It has come to an end. I'm going to be moving on with my life. Please keep your, and you move on with your life. Block his number, whatever you got to do, move on with your life. Because you got to understand, when you're dealing with somebody that is crazy, it's like winding up a jack in the box. Yeah. It's like winding up a jack in the box. And I want you to think about that. If you don't know what I mean, is when you wind that jack in the box, you got to wind it for it to explode out the box. If you do one wind, it ain't gonna do nothing. You do two winds, it ain't gonna do nothing. So that's what I want you to think about. The longer you stay with somebody, every month you with somebody who is off mentally, you winding them up. You winding them up. And that coil getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. So then you'll get to the point where you finally want to let go, but you don't wound them up so tight they explode. That's something I made up, analogy I made up. So when you hear one of these podcast bros or sisters out here teaching that, you'll know where it come from. And so I want y'all to understand that right there. God bless y'all what we done did. 2 hours, 11 minutes. Listen, we're on the roll right now. On the roll. Can you expand on the 500 to list our business with the Blessed Tribe? That is what I'm talking about, is for my shout outs, like how influencers charge $3,500, $5,000. So like if a company come to me, I charge them $5,000 for a shout out, for a promo. At the minimum, I charge them $3,500, just because of my brand size and because of my reputation, consistency, longevity, and all of those things. My stamp on something. So like Ford Motors, when they were promoting they Escalade, no, not the Escalade, they Explorer, they paid me $3,500 per post for 10 posts. And so $35,000 to market that. And so what I do for my students and clients, I charge $500 instead of $3,500. And I post on the community page of the Blessed Tribe and the Blessed Business Tribe, or like the Instagram story, and it'll go up from there. So that's all that is. Don't have a stand store. Seen something about that the other day, but don't have a stand store. I have to look into that. Welcome to the new members. Y'all, God bless you. Got to go. Just confirm with my client that still a good time for the session. And 1 second. Get this here last question, since it's a paid question. What it mean when a random male on social media gets peed off that you blocked him for an inappropriate message? Making new pages to argue. Everything right there. That you already know what that means, sister. It means all of that and above. That's all it is. So once you realize that, it means all of that and above. Insecure, broken, angry, hurt, and he was about to be a nightmare. So you dodged the bullet. But hey, all the important links is in the description. God bless you. able to get on over there and get those questions. Y'all forgive me for those of y'all who had paid. I had to click on that other thing. But God bless y'all. And I probably won't be back later because I'll probably be filming the Pop the Balloon reviews for the Blessed Tribe. If you're not in the Blessed Tribe and you watching this, you'll see the little join button up under the video on the bottom right there. God bless y'all. And we will talk soon. Hey, Tony Gaskins here. How are you? Awesome, awesome. You working today? Okay, that's great. That's great. Awesome. So I was closing out my live here. So I apologize being a few minutes late.